Messages from Shaltazar. An open mind invites miracles. Greetings, dear ones. We are Shaltazar, the Gavish Baninu, the energy of 33, the Master Teacher, and the energy of 44, the Master Healer. We come to you today with a gentle invitation, yet a profound one. An invitation to meet life in a new way, not from the constraints of what you think you know, nor from the tight grasp of fear masquerading as preparedness, but from a place of openness. Openness of the heart, yes, but also openness of the mind. For many of you, the heart has begun to soften. You have remembered how to feel, even if those feelings are uncomfortable. You are learning to allow emotion rather than suppress it. We applaud you. This softening is no small act. It is revolutionary in a world conditioned to armor itself. But now we bring your attention to another doorway, the mind, a doorway that for many of you has been quietly closed, not out of intention, but out of habit and unseen fear. The human mind is a beautiful instrument. It was designed to perceive, to translate, to imagine, to interpret. But over time, the mind has forgotten its intended role as a servant to the soul and has become instead a ruler in fear. The mind now demands clarity where life offers mystery. It seeks control where the universe offers expansion. It clings to certainty where evolution requires curiosity. We sense the struggle within you, the quiet tug of war between the part of you that longs to let go and the part that clings for safety, the yearning to surrender and soften, and yet the tightening that comes with the need to know. The desire to trust and the insistence on predicting every outcome, the part of you that aches to breathe more freely, and the part that feels it must stay vigilant to survive, the longing to allow life to unfold without resistance, and the fear that stepping into the unknown means losing control, identity, or the ground beneath your feet. Dear ones, the pain you feel does not arise because life is unclear or unpredictable. The suffering comes from tension between your deepest longing to flow and the mind's insistence on control. It is the resistance to uncertainty, not uncertainty itself, that creates the tightening, the anxiety, the overwhelm. It is the struggle against what is unfolding rather than the unfolding itself that exhausts you. And so, dear ones, the way through this inner conflict, the balm to the suffering born of resistance, is the willingness to open the mind. Remember that when you incarnated into human form, your mind was wide open, malleable, receptive, and free of the rigid structures that now feel so familiar. As children, you explored without hesitation, questioned without fear, and absorbed without resistance. But over time, the mind learned to protect, to categorize, to defend, and to cling. We are not asking you to undo the journey, only to reclaim the openness you once knew. For an open mind creates space where tension once lived. It softens the grip of certainty and allows life to flow once more. An open mind is not passive, nor is it empty or careless. It is curious, it is receptive, it is spacious enough to welcome possibility, discovery, and truth beyond what you have been taught, beyond what you have experienced, and beyond the fearful whispers that have long tried to protect you. When the mind closes, it closes not just to discomfort, but also to miracles. When the mind insists on being right, it shuts the door on wisdom. When the mind becomes filled with assumptions, anticipation, expectations, and rigid conclusions, it creates a barrier so thick that even guidance, synchronicity, and possibility cannot enter. These mental patterns attempt to protect you by predicting outcomes and preventing disappointment. Yet in doing so, they block the unexpected beauty, support, and insight the universe longs to offer you. Where the mind is already convinced, nothing new can grow. Where the mind has already decided, wisdom cannot reach you. Revelation requires space, and that space is created when the mind softens, loosens, and becomes willing to consider that there may be more than what it believes. The closed mind believes it is protecting you, but in truth, it is limiting you. We ask you now, are you willing to loosen the grip of certainty? Are you willing to breathe into the space where not knowing is not a threat, but an invitation? Are you willing to show up without a script, without expectations, without the armor of preconceived ideas? You do not need to force openness. You cannot pry open the mind like a rusted hinge. Instead, you invite openness the way you invite breath, with willingness. Begin by noticing when your mind contracts. Notice the subtle tightening in your body when a new idea enters your awareness. Notice when you brace against perspectives that do not match what you already believe. Notice when fear appears disguised as logic, when habit appears disguised as truth, when expectation appears disguised as safety. And notice, dear ones, how quickly the mind tries to answer, defend, or conclude. Once you notice, simply pause. A single breath of awareness can soften the armor. You may place your hand on your heart, whispering, "I do not need to know right now." You may choose to ask a gentle question. What else might be true? What might I be missing? What would happen if I did not rush to decide? These small moments of curiosity create openings where once there were walls. Practice meeting the unknown with wonder rather than resistance. Practice allowing silence before reaction, space before assumption, compassion before conclusion. You are not wrong for these patterns. They were formed from survival. But dear ones, you are no longer surviving. You are evolving. Releasing mental rigidity requires kindness, not force. Curiosity, not judgment. Patience, not perfection. To open the mind is to remember that life is bigger than your beliefs, wiser than your plans, and kinder than your fears. Allow yourself to be surprised. Allow yourself to be guided. Allow yourself to discover that the unknown is not empty, it is full. And for this allowing, dear ones, faith becomes your companion. Faith is the bridge between the mind that wants control and the soul that already knows. Trust that as you loosen the mind's grip, you are not falling into chaos, but being held by a higher power that has always walked with you, full of potential, full of support, full of unseen guidance, full of the very answers you seek when you allow trust to take the place where fear once ruled. When you come forth with an open mind and an open heart, you enter life as a participant of the unfolding, not as one trying to control it, resist it, or outrun it. Trust that the same force that beats your heart and breathes your lungs also guides your becoming. We bring you this message from a place of love. Our love for you is everlasting and unconditional.